Hello, my dear children. Today again we will continue with the same chapter, the Chinese civilization. But today I will begin the explanation with a story. Today I will tell you the story how the silk was discovered. So, the legends say that silk was discovered around 2700 BC in ancient China, and the story was recorded in writing by Confucius. I have already told you Confucius was a great philosopher and a politician, and many people followed his beliefs. So, according to his tale, the Chinese Empress Li Zhu discovered silk by accident. Once, sitting under a mulberry tree, Princess Li Zhu was sipping a hot cup of water. Accidentally, from that mulberry tree, a cocoon fell into her cup. Cocoon is made up of fiber, and when it fell into the hot water, it started loosening its thread. The Princess Liu lifted that cocoon from her cap and she noticed that it was releasing a thread. And at the same time, an innovative idea hit her mind, and she decided to weave this fine thread into a piece of fabric. She told everything to her husband and requested him to gift her a grove of mulberry trees to farm silkworms. She learned a lot by studying silkworms and mulberry trees around her and eventually started to teach her attendant how to raise silkworms. Because of this invention of silk in ancient China by Empress Liu was said to be the start of sericulture. Sericulture was one of the major occupations in the ancient Chinese civilization. Sericulture is the process of farming silkworms to create silk fabrics, which became a very profitable industry in China. And for a very long time, it remained the chief item of export. Export means sending something in sense of selling, okay, selling goods to another country. And when you buy goods from another country, that is importing. When you are buying, it is called import, and when you sell goods to another country, it is called export. So for a very long time it remained the chief item of export. Majority of people practiced agriculture. People grew rice, wheat, barley, sorghum, millet, soybean, and tea. These were the main crops. The Chinese were first to cultivate tea also. Like I told you, they invented silk and they were also first to cultivate tea. Initially, it was used as medicine, but later it became a popular drink. Chinese craftsmen were great in metalwork. They made beautiful statues, weapons, and bronze vessels, and they decorated it with the figures of animals and dragons. They knew to dissolve iron, which helped them create many objects of metal. Besides metalwork, sericulture, and agriculture, Chinese were also great in pottery making and woodwork. Children, Chinese ceramics is one of the most important forms of ancient Chinese art and urges the continuous development of global ceramics. Chinese ceramics is the general term of the items made by clay, porcelain stone, kaolin, and feldspar. These are all sort of white clay, and with this, Chinese made beautiful glazed pottery. They crafted lots of items such as vases, jars, cups, saucers, and bowls. And all these were called China ware. If today also you look around, very easily you will get at least one item of China ware in every house. China was rich in timber, and timber, it's a kind of wood. So they used that wood to construct the buildings, and they also made beautiful objects of wood in which they inlaid ivory. Ivory, I have already told you in English literature, and I also remember I showed you the image of it. You all have seen elephant. It has a long trunk, and next to the trunk, the white teeth that it has. From that teeth, a white hard material from that tusk is called ivory. China had so many beautiful items that they had to export it. For example, as you see, silk. For many years, production of silk remained confined to China until the Silk Road opened at some point during the later half of the first millennium. Silk, Chinaware, tea, and paper were the main items of export, and they exported it to the West and brought glass, linen, and gold back to China. Now it's time to recognize some of the major achievements of China. The first one is the Great Wall of China. As you can see here in the picture and also in your book, you better see the image given in your book. Then you can understand its utility properly. So it was built in 3rd century BCE, and it was built to keep China safe from tribal attacks. The whole wall covers 8,850 kilometers, and it runs over mountains, plains, and deserts. And this wall also has 25,000 watchtowers, and it all are built along the Great Wall. This is the image of watchtower, and the distance between each tower differed. Some of them were very close to each other at a distance of about 3 miles, while some of them were very far from each other. The shape of the towers varied from being square, rectangular, and according to the local conditions. It was made up of bricks and stones. The main function of watchtowers was to watch enemy movements and transmit signals. Suppose the enemy is approaching, and the soldier who saw it first would puff smoke in the daytime and light a fire at night to send messages one after another until all the soldiers knew. Like one watchtower soldier saw the enemy approaching. What he is supposed to do is to puff smoke at daytime, and if it is night, he has to lit fire, and with this he would pass signal to the soldiers at another tower, and then this way the message will be passed that the enemy is approaching. So this is one of the greatest architectural achievement of Chinese civilization. Next in the list is Pagoras. This is a temple where followers of Buddhism prayed, and it was decorated with beautiful sculptures. Children, Chinese contributed to almost all the branches of science. They formulated a calendar in which a year consisted 365 and a half days. The Chinese calendar is a lunisolar calendar which arranges the year, months, and day number upon the astronomical date. In the Chinese calendar, the days begin at midnight and end at midnight of the next day. It is used for traditional activities in China and overseas Chinese communities. They also predicted eclipses and the appearances of comets. They invented seismograph to record earthquakes, and some other Chinese inventions were the magnetic compass, gunpowder, wheelbarrow, umbrella, and kite. One of the most important contributions made during the period that the Shang dynasty ruled China was the invention of writing. I told you yesterday also. The earliest written records found in China came from this time period. The people of China developed their own system of writing, which is very much similar to the script that they follow today. At first, they drew the small pictures on bamboo slips to express their idea, also on animal bones and on silk cloths. And they used brush made of camel hair. And the whole script looked like painting. And these pictures were known as pictogram. These pictures had objects like fruit, serpent, river, time like dawn, noon, night, etc. And with the progress, they started also writing on paper. The Chinese civilization that developed in China was very advanced. It contributed to the progress of humankind. Children, Chinese invented very good things, very useful things. And for a very long time, they had monopoly on those items. Only they were the one to sell those items like tea, silk, and many other things are there. And with the advancement of time, we also learn to create those things. So, when we are able to create all those things today, why we still need to buy these items from foreign countries? What I want to tell you, buy the products that are made in your country and are not from another country. This will help the people of your country and economy of your country. With this, I end this chapter. I hope everything is clear to you. Still, if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Thank you.